Hey guys, Daniel from UNIDAN here. We're at Scenic Rim 4x4 and Adventure Park. We've come out to give our brand new vehicle, the UGE or UNIDAN Global Explorer, a bit of a shakedown run before we hand it over to its new owner next week. The Unimog is a very distinct vehicle. Everybody always says to us, why Unimog? From my own personal experience, we've travelled the Simpson Deserts, Cape York many times, a lot of places around the country, and just being able to take your home away from home with you and knowing that you're going to get there and back with no dramas. The off-road ability of the Unimog is second to none. The confidence in knowing you're going to get there and back is completely different when you're driving a Unimog. For many years, my family, my wife and I think since 1999, we did our first lap around Australia. We spent 2.5 years on the road. We were in a Nissan Patrol at the time. We decided it'd be a great idea to get a camper trailer, so we got the camper trailer. We got sick of setting it up every night, got sick of getting stuck in sand. It really wasn't for us. So then we expanded, we travelled across to Western Australia. We decided we wanted to go to that bigger vehicle. So we got a Mitsubishi Canter, great little truck, absolutely loved it. Took us a lot of places, but we spent a lot of time on the side of the road fixing it. No disrespect to the Canter, but it just wasn't set out for severe off-road travel, which we were used to. We then got our first Unimog in 2007. So I think personally we've owned 46 or 47 Unimogs now, restored countless numbers of customers' trucks, built countless numbers of bodies. We obviously don't just build expedition bodies, we do all sorts of things from commercial vehicles to just big fun trucks to toy haulers to all sorts of different things at UNIDAN. So it really has become, my hobby and passion has turned into a business. The two current models of the Mercedes-Benz Unimog are the UGE and the UHE. So the UGE, I wouldn't call it a soft roader, I certainly wouldn't call it a severe off-roader. You'd probably say it's a middle of the range. So you'll do this places like the Simpson Desert or Sahara Desert or Canning Stock Route, just about every national park track in the country and a little bit better. Whereas the UHE is the extreme off-roader, so we can take that basically rock crawling up the local rocky gorge and all that sort of thing. So the UGE has its benefits, Vario Pilot, so the switch-in steering wheel, but it also has a massive amount of visibility in the cabin. So driving it, it's like sitting in front of a 100-inch plasma TV as opposed to sitting in your sedan where you're sort of looking at the 42-inch plasma TV. So it's unbelievable to travel in. Obviously around the world, we buy this sort of vehicle, we want to explore the outdoors. So in most of our vehicles, we have outdoor cooking. We also have indoor cooking. We get to climates when it's negative 40 degrees or pouring with rain. You don't want to be out in the elements, so we have full cooking facilities inside, 230 litre fridge freezer in most of our designs, queen size bed and a dinette, indoor shower, indoor toilet obviously. It's a very comfortable living space inside. When we're out in the scrub, one of the most important things to me is body protection. So we've designed in all of our builds cab protection, so full scrub bars, roof racks, and also protection over our body. Quite often we'll be pushing through a nice tight track and there'll be a big hanging limb. With our designs of our scrub bars, we gently push into them, the limb slides up and over and drops down behind. It's a very, very rare day where we actually have to pull out a chainsaw and cut down a tree. Leading on from the philosophy of being able to get away from the crowds and get out on your own, you've obviously got to be self-recoverable. So this particular truck, we've got two 25,000-pound Sherpa winches, one on the front, one on the rear. We have what I believe is the most important part of any expedition vehicle, and that's our battery management system. So on the roof, we've got in this truck around, I think it's about 800 watts of solar. We've got two DC to DC 50 amp chargers, a 3,000 watt inverter, a separate solar controller, and then our COI or our digital switching system. So it's all nicely laid out. All of our builds are like this. Everything's specifically laid out so there's no big bird's nest of cables, etc, etc. As with any expedition vehicle, the whole idea about it is being self-sufficient and being able to go further away from the crowds and major tourist spots. So we've removed the 145 litre standard tank and we've replaced it with two custom UNIDAN tanks. It's approximately 480 litres on this truck. 4mm thick aluminium, so they are fairly impact resistant. And with that capacity, we should get somewhere around the 2,000 kilometre range in this truck. So over the years, everybody's always asked us why we don't put our spare wheel on the back of the vehicle. We're allowed to have a maximum of 60% overhang. So if we were to go and put a spare wheel here, technically we've got to make our body roughly 400 millimetres less. So you're losing 400 millimetres of internal space. So what we've come up with a long time ago, we've been doing these for years now, is our internal spare wheel slide. So really utilising an area which is under the bed. So very easy to get in and out with one person. You can use the crane to stand it up so you don't have to lay it flat on the ground. While we're in here, we'll talk about a little bit more about what we have in here. So we've got some easy to access fully welded aluminium drawers. One of our 200 litre water tanks in here. So full custom built polyethylene, our water filtration system, our pumps, our water filling system. As we mentioned earlier, all of our plumbing is internal, so nothing's out in the elements to freeze. And then we've got our outdoor shower if we choose to have a shower outside instead of inside in the warmth. So a lot of our customers living on the road, they want to have an onboard washing machine. That way they don't have to rely about going to a laundromat and using somebody else's. So this one's got a little 2.5 kilo K-Mac washing machine. We've got our diesel hot water system and then diesel ducted air heatings. Although this truck doesn't necessarily need a generator because it's got a lot of solar, we've got a generator on board on one of our UNIDAN slide outs. So full setup time in this particular vehicle, I think took us about 15 seconds. Obviously the awning took a little bit longer to wind out, so let's go with a 5-minute setup time. You don't have to roll out the awning, but basically fold out the stairs, hit the camping button, everything you need to go camping is set up, ready to go. But most of all, it's having the ability and the comfort in the fact that you know you're going to get to where you want to go and come back again. At the end of the day, the Unimog is built for severe off-roading, military purposes, agricultural purposes. They're built to go to the tough places and come back again. So reliability and the toughness, that's the reason I really like the Unimog.